All right, everybody, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into how retail can slash IT costs. And we've got a fantastic roadmap
Oh, yeah.
from digital transformation expert Nishith Shrivastava. Now
hmm
get this.
Okay.
He's laid out these really actionable strategies
Yeah.
that retailers are already using
Yeah.
to boost their bottom line.
That's right. And I think what's really impressive here is that we're not just talking about making cuts for the sake of it, right?
Yeah.
It's about strategically using technology to make your business more adaptable, more,
Yeah.
ready for
Influence
anything.
manual.
Agile,
Yeah.
exactly. And ultimately more profitable in the long run.
Okay, so let's break down year one.
Okay.
We're talking about those quick wins, those things retailers can do like today to start seeing those cost savings. What are we looking at?
So year one is all about making the most of the technology and strategies that are already out there, right, for
Mhm.
maximum impact. And one of the biggest opportunities here is cloud migration.
Okay.
Now, I know cloud can sound like just another buzzword,
Right.
but it's a total game changer. It's about changing how businesses think about their IT infrastructure from the ground up.
So it's not just about moving things to the cloud. What's the real strategic advantage?
Okay, so picture this. Instead of being stuck with all that expensive hardware and those fixed costs, you're only paying for what you actually use when you use it.
Okay.
That's the beauty of the cloud's pay-as-you-go model.
I like it already.
Right. Plus, cloud providers are constantly updating their services.
Yeah, it's true.
So you're always ahead of the curve without the headaches of managing it all yourself.
So it's like trading in that old gas guzzler for a sleek electric car that gets software upgrades automatically.
Oh, exactly. You said it perfectly. And speaking of streamlining vendor consolidation, that's another big one for year one.
Yeah.
A lot of retailers, they end up juggling way too many vendors.
I would bet.
And that creates a ton of extra work, and you miss out on opportunities for better deals.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, as they say.
Precisely. By consolidating, you can get those better contracts, streamline operations,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even unlock some volume discounts
I like the sound of that.
on software and services.
Less paperwork, more savings. That's
Yeah.
a year one priority for sure.
Absolutely.
Now, this next one is fascinating to me. AI and automation.
Oh.
Are we talking about robots taking over retail?
Well, not quite taking over, but they're definitely changing the game. Think of it this way. AI and automation, they're amazing at those repetitive, time-consuming tasks
Right.
that bog down your human employees.
Yeah.
Things like order processing, inventory updates, even parts of customer service can be automated,
Okay.
which frees up your staff for more complex, more valuable activities.
So it's not about replacing jobs. It's about using tech to help employees work smarter, not harder.
You got it. And that directly translates to cost savings. I actually worked with a clothing retailer
Oh, really?
who used AI chatbots for those basic customer inquiries.
Okay.
And their customer service overhead plummeted. Plus, those bots were available 24/7, which boosted customer satisfaction at the same time.
That makes a lot of sense. And it's not just about saving money. It's about creating a better experience for everyone. Now, the next thing on the list for year one is sustainability. I'm curious, how does going green lead to IT cost savings?
You might be surprised, but it's not just good for the planet.
Okay.
It's good for the bottom line. Think about how much energy a traditional data center uses
Oh, yeah, a ton.
by moving to the cloud.
Right.
You're basically outsourcing those energy demands to companies that specialize in efficiency.
Interesting.
And that often means lower costs for you.
So it's about taking advantage of their expertise and their economies of scale.
Exactly. And it's not just the cloud. We're talking energy-efficient hardware, reducing paper waste with digital workflows, even optimizing your supply chain for sustainability.
Wow.
It all adds up
It all contributes.
to a greener IT footprint and a healthier bottom line.
That's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Okay, last strategy for year one, and it's a big one. Omnichannel integration.
Yeah.
A lot of retailers are aiming for this, but it can seem overwhelming.
It can. It really can. But it's crucial these days. Customers expect that seamless experience, whether they're online, in-store, or on your app.
That makes sense from the customer's perspective, but how does it save retailers money?
It's all about breaking down those silos and streamlining.
Okay.
Instead of having separate systems and teams for each channel.
Right.
Omnichannel means one unified platform for everything: inventory, marketing, sales, customer data, the whole 9 yards.
So it's like that saying, work smarter, not harder, but applied to your entire operation.
Exactly. And that streamlined approach not only saves on IP costs,
Right.
but it makes everything more efficient, reduces errors, and helps you provide a more consistent and personalized customer experience.
Across every channel?
Every single one.
Wow, we've covered a lot in year one. Cloud migration, vendor consolidation, automation sustainability, and omni-channel integration. It's a lot to process, but I'm already seeing how powerful these strategies can be,
Oh, absolutely.
even in just that first year,
Yeah,
for impacting a retailer's bottom line and ability to adapt to the market.
absolutely. These year one initiatives are all about laying a strong foundation for the more strategic transformations to come.
Okay, now you've got me on the edge of my seat. What other strategic moves are we talking about in year two? All right, so year one was all about laying that groundwork, but you're saying year two is when things get even more strategic.
Oh, yeah. Year two is where we really start digging into those existing systems and processes,
Right.
thinking about how to optimize the core of your IT infrastructure to unlock even more savings and efficiencies.
Sounds like it's time to roll up our sleeves and get a little more technical.
Hmm.
What's first on the agenda?
Well, we've got to address the elephant in the room, right? Legacy
Well,
systems,
those things.
those outdated systems that are still chugging along,
Yeah.
but they can cost a fortune to maintain.
I bet.
And they often struggle to keep up with the demands of modern retail.
I've heard horror stories about those legacy systems, like those old clunky cash registers that everyone's afraid to touch.
That's a perfect analogy.
Right.
Just like those old registers, legacy systems can really hold your business back.
Yeah.
So year two is about taking the plunge,
Okay.
either modernizing those systems or replacing them completely with more agile solutions, cloud-based solutions.
Oh, with the old in with the new and
Yeah.
efficient. Okay, so what about automation? Yeah. We touched on that in year one. How does that strategy evolve in year two?
So in year two, automation becomes much more strategic.
Okay.
We're talking about using it in more complex areas of your operation.
Like what?
Think using AI to power your customer support or predicting demand with incredible accuracy, even optimizing your entire supply chain.
Wait, AI predicting what customers will want before they even know it themselves? That sounds incredibly powerful.
It is incredibly powerful, and it's not some far-off future tech either. We're seeing retailers use AI-powered demand forecasting right now
Wow.
to reduce waste, optimize inventory, you name it.
So it's about using AI to make smarter decisions across the board.
Exactly.
Okay, now another area that I feel like gets overlooked sometimes is data optimization. Retailers are sitting on mountains of data.
Mountains of it.
But how do you actually turn all that data into cost savings?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Because data is only valuable if you can actually use it effectively.
Right.
Year two is about implementing those strategies that can really streamline your data storage and management. Things like data lakes and deduplication.
Okay, hold on. Those sound pretty technical. Can you break those down for me?
Sure. So a data lake is basically a central hub
Okay.
where you can keep all your data in its raw form. This makes it much easier to access and analyze data from all these different sources.
So it's like taking all those scattered puzzle pieces and finally putting them together so you can see the big picture.
Exactly. And then deduplication, that's all about eliminating unnecessary copies of data.
Okay.
You'd be amazed how much storage space gets wasted on duplicate files and information.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Get rid of the clutter.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got legacy system modernization, automation, expansion, data optimization on the table for year two. What else is on the roadmap?
Now's a good time to think about integrating Agile and DevOps methodologies into your IT operations.
Agile and DevOps. Those always sound a little, I don't know, kind of fuzzy to me. Can you remind me what those are all about?
Of course. So Agile is a project management approach that's all about flexibility, collaboration, and iterative development.
Okay.
Instead of that old waterfall method where you plan everything out in advance and hope for the best,
Right.
Agile is about breaking big projects down into smaller, more manageable chunks and being able to adapt to changes quickly.
So you're more nimble, you can respond to change more effectively.
Exactly. And then DevOps that comes in to complement Agile by focusing on automating and integrating the work of your software development and IT operations teams.
Okay, so breaking down those silos again.
You got it. It's about creating a more seamless workflow from development to deployment.
So it's like building a well-oiled machine where everyone's on the same page and things just flow smoothly from start to finish.
That's a great way to put it. And that increased efficiency and reduced downtime, that translates directly into cost savings.
Of course. Okay, so we're getting agile, we're breaking down silos, and we're automating everything we can. What's the last piece of the puzzle for year two?
Let's talk about the Internet of Things, or IoT.
IoT.
I'm intrigued. In retail, IoT is all about connecting physical objects to the internet
Okay.
to gather data and boost efficiency. Think smart shelves that can tell you when they're running low on stock.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Exactly, but it goes way beyond inventory management.
Like what?
We're talking RFID tags to track products throughout your supply chain,
Okay.
sensors that monitor temperature and humidity in your stores,
Wow.
even smart shopping carts that can guide customers to the items on their lists.
So it's like having eyes and ears everywhere, gathering data to optimize every single aspect of your operation.
That's the power of IoT. And by using it effectively, retailers can reduce shrinkage, optimize logistics, personalize that shopping experience, and get invaluable insights into customer behavior.
Wow, we covered a lot of ground in year 2 legacy system modernization, automation expansion, data optimization, embracing agile and DevOps, and leveraging the power of IoT. It feels like we're building a really strong foundation here.
Absolutely. Year 2 is about taking those initial wins from year 1 and really amplifying them through strategic optimization. And believe it or not, we're just getting started.
Okay, you've got me on the edge of my seat. What kind of transformative leaps are in store for year 3? Year 2 sounded pretty intense, but you're telling me year 3 is where the real magic happens. I'm ready. What's this digital transformation actually look like in practice?
Year 3 is about completely changing how businesses use IT. We're not just optimizing anymore. We're talking about technology becoming a true strategic weapon for retail.
Okay, now that sounds almost like something out of a sci-fi movie. Give me an example. What's one of the key things that changes in this transformation?
Imagine if you could build your perfect IT system piece by piece, choosing the absolute best components for each specific thing you needed. That's the idea behind composable architecture.
Composable architecture.
Okay.
I'm going to need you to break that down a little more for me. It sounds fascinating, but kind of high level.
It's actually simpler than it sounds. Instead of being locked into one big, clunky software suite, you're basically building a custom system by plugging in these best-in-breed components, like Lego blocks,
I like it.
right? So you need a really powerful e-commerce platform. You just plug it in. You want a top-of-the-line inventory management system, connect it seamlessly. And the best part is you can swap these components in and out as your needs change without having to redo the whole system.
So it's about future-proofing your IT setup. You can adapt quickly to new tech and what customers want without having to rip and replace everything.
You got it. And because you're only paying for the parts you actually need, composable architecture can actually be very cost-effective, especially as your business grows.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, we've talked a lot about data optimization, but how does that factor into year 3's transformation?
Year 3 is where we unlock the true potential of all that data you've been gathering and organizing. We're talking about AI-powered decision-making.
So using AI to look at all that data and make smarter choices for the business, what kind of impact are we talking about here? Give me the highlights.
Imagine being able to predict exactly what your customers want before they even do.
Yeah.
Optimizing pricing on the fly, personalizing the shopping experience for every single customer, and even spotting problems before they happen. All thanks to AI.
That's incredible. It's like having a crystal ball that tells you exactly what your customers are thinking.
That's the power of AI. It can find hidden patterns and insights in massive amounts of data, stuff that humans would never be able to see. And the best part is it keeps getting smarter and more accurate as you feed it more data.
Okay, I'm definitely seeing the magic now. Composable architecture and AI-powered decision-making. What other game changers are we talking about for year 3?
So now that you've streamlined your internal processes, it's the perfect time to really think about strategic outsourcing.
Outsourcing can be kind of a scary word for some people, but
Sure.
I get the feeling you're not talking about just shipping everything off to the lowest bidder.
Not at all. Strategic outsourcing is all about figuring out what your company does best and then teaming up with experts in other areas. Let's say you've got a fantastic team focused on your main product, but your IT support is stretched thin. Outsourcing that support to a specialist lets your internal team shine while making sure you have top-notch help.
So it's about using external expertise to fill gaps and boost efficiency. Working smarter, not harder, as they say. Okay, last but not least, what about security? Every day there's a new data breach in the news. How can retailers stay ahead of the game in year 3?
You're right, security is more important than ever.
Yeah,
Year 3 is all about adopting a zero-trust approach.
zero trust. That sounds intense. Tell me more.
Basically, it means moving away from that old castle and moat idea of security where you focus on your perimeter and assume that anyone inside is safe.
Okay.
With zero trust, you assume that you can't trust anyone by default. Not users, not devices, not even if they're already inside your network.
So you're constantly verifying every single attempt to access anything no matter what.
Exactly. You're always authenticating users and devices, only giving them access to what they absolutely need to do their jobs. It might sound complicated, but there are a lot of tools and technologies out there that can help you set up a zero trust system without adding a ton of extra work.
And I imagine stopping a data breach before it happens is a lot cheaper than dealing with the mess afterwards.
100%. Zero Trust is all about proactive security. It protects your data, your customers, and your bottom line.
Wow, we've covered so much ground in this deep dive. From those quick wins in year one all the way to these amazing strategies in year three. It's clear that if you want to stay ahead in retail, you've got to fully embrace technology and make it work for you.
I couldn't agree more. This isn't just about IT budgets. This is about building a retail business that's more adaptable, more resilient, and ultimately way more profitable.
And the coolest part is that these ideas can work in any industry, right? Even if you're not in retail, the lessons here about using the cloud, making the most of AI, and thinking strategically about technology are valuable for everyone.
Absolutely. The big takeaway here is that technology isn't an expense, it's an investment in your future.
This has been such a fascinating conversation. I feel like I just got a glimpse into the future of retail. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. And to everyone listening, we hope this deep dive has given you a lot to think about as you start your own digital transformation journeys. Until next time, keep innovating, keep those questions coming, and keep diving deep into the world of technology.